So the latest with the Black Stars, do we have a team? Do we have our list? What's happening?
Well, we are waiting for the given the deadline by 14th of November. All the countries, the 32.
14th November is next week.
Yes, by 14th November.
No, the week after next week.
Yes, all the teams that are appearing at the World Cup can submit their final squad. Even though some of them have brought their provisional squad. Uruguay have brought their 55-man team provisional squad. England also had theirs yesterday. But Japan 2 days ago, they just went away with their 26-man squad.
Well, Japan released their final one.
They released their final one.
They are serious people.
Yes, they are not going to have any provisional, let alone for their people to talk about this player has been left out, this player has been left out, we need this. And then the coach Hajime Moriyasu, that's the name, he decided to bring the final 26-man squad.
Okay, so in Ghana's squad, what is the biggest addition that should excite us? Is it Hansen Odoi?
Well, you know, you look at the structure of our team. Which positions are we lacking? Which of the departments? And I think these are the problems that for me, I think if you take a complete look at our team, our main problem
Can you put a photograph of the Black Stars over here? Yeah. Black Stars, if you have it. That will work for our analysis better.
The main problem within our team is the midfielder. Back in the days, if you remember in Germany 2006, when you appeared at our first World Cup, we used to have one of the best midfield within the tournament. This was a midfield that comprises of Michael Essien, Eric Ado, Sule Muntari, and Stephen Appiah.
Very solid.
Haminu Dramani, and then Otto Addo, at times Derek Boateng were also the other guys who come to supplement the effort of these men that I'm talking about. But just take a look at within our midfield.
Right now.
Right now.
What do we have? Mohammed Kudus is doing so well.
Mohammed Kudus is more of an advanced midfielder. He likes to operate within the zone 14. They call him.
What is zone 14?
You know, most of the times when you divide the.
Ibrahim Zebri, like, get us some field photographs, can you? Okay, go.
When you divide the pitch into three, the last quarter when you are an attacker.
Yeah.
The last aspect of the pitch, that's what you call the zone 14.
And Mohammed Kudus is there.
Yes, he's been.
So you can't call him a midfielder?
Like, he can play midfield, but you need him to be just along your strikers. Because he just likes to operate at the final third. In Italy, they call it trequartista, that type of player. When you divide the pitch into three, the first one, the second, trequartista.
Okay.
He's just behind the striker. He's going to be the one to help you to score goals. So most of the times, if you drop Mohammed Kudus deep in midfield, you limit yourself in terms of those guys who are going to help your attack to score.
But you need a midfield to supply Mohammed Kudus.
Yes. So this is our problem.
The midfield.
Our main man that we've depend on him for some couple of times is Thomas Partey.
Yes.
So oftentimes.
But is he not a defensive midfielder? Therefore, he's too far away from Kudus.
He can operate both defensively.
Okay, so that's the Black Stars team. Yeah. Excellent. Okay.
He can operate both defensively and offensively. You know, for some couple of years now, almost 2 years since Coach Kwesi Appiah, former coach of the Black Stars, introduced Baba Idrisu in the team, he and then Thomas Partey have been forming.
Is Idrisu a midfielder?
Defensive midfielder.
Just as Partey?
Yeah, no, not as Partey.
But Partey is a defensive midfielder, isn't he?
Partey is more of, you can call him a central midfielder because, but he has the capability to operate as a defensive midfielder.
And as an offensive midfielder.
And as offensive midfielder.
So he can play in the traditional setting, 6, 8, and 10.
10, yes.
Ah, okay.
At a point,
I get it.
At a point, remember, Kwesi Appiah was using him just behind the striker.
So that's a bit different from Essien because Essien cannot really play 10.
He can, but he likes to operate within the middle.
Essien can play 10?
He can play.
I see.
Based on his physique and how he has that work ethic.
But you know when Ghana played Nigeria, in 2008, Essien, after John Mensah got a red card, played as a 5.
Yeah, that
central defender. I was in the stadium that they were just clapping for him.
That was the time that we were man down. So
but he played a central defensive role.
Yeah, we need to
and he scored the equalizer.
Yeah, he scored the equalizer.
Absolutely.
You remember the red card came in the second half.
Yes.
And that was after the equalizer.
Oh, so Essien scored before the red card came.
Yes, Essien scored prior to the first half, just few minutes to the end of the.
But Nigeria scored first.
Nigeria scored first.
From a penalty. Yes.
Yakubu Aigbeni.
Yes, Aigbeni scored.
Yes, and then
Essien equalized with the header.
Yes.
So at the time Essien scored, John Mensah was still on the field.
John Mensah was still on the pitch.
So when John Mensah went out on the red card, then Essien dropped to central defense.
And that was the reason why.
And then Junior Gogo scored the winner.
Junior Gogo scored the winner.
Through a Sule Muntari.
Yeah. And remember, that was the reason why in our semi-final game against Cameroon in that year, Essien was dropped into the defensive setup based on the fact that we were lacking John Mensah on that day.
Oh, because of the red card, he couldn't play the semi-final.
Yeah, yes, John Mensah
couldn't play. So Essien started the semi-final as a central midfielder.
As a central defender.
And then Ayew came in. The day Ayew
was there.
Yeah.
So we decided to play only Antonianan.
Where is he?
He's now in Finland, yeah.
He's a defensive midfielder, very good one.
Yes.
He can't play for the Black Stars anymore?
No, he's now aging. Take a look at the members of the squad that he was part.
They are gone.
How many of them are there, with the exception of...
But if we have a midfield problem, should we not consider Sule Muntari?
Our problem, for example, if you talk about Baba Idrisu, my problem is, most often times, when you have a defensive midfielder, the man who just sits in front of the defense, we used to call something ball retention capability.
Absolutely, I remember that.
Retentional play.
Yeah.
But Baba Idrisu...
So you're talking about Roy Keane?
Yes, Baba Idrisu's pass is more of sideways and back passes. So when he's immediately pressed, they can easily dispossess him.
Oh, that's not great. So he can lose the ball in the middle of play.
Easily. And
that puts pressure on the defense.
And because he doesn't have the ball retentional capabilities.
But Partey has it.
Partey has it. So that was the reason why in that game against Brazil, you saw that we suffered.
Oh.
Because we lacked Partey. Dede Ayew has to be the man to operate in deep midfield. And Dede Ayew, for now, he doesn't have that physique, that strong mentality to fight and tackle.
The mentality he may have, but the physical strength.
But the physical strength.
He's over 30, isn't he?
Yes, 32, almost getting to 33. So, Baba Idrisi, whenever Partey is in game of the Black Stars, you see him playing because Partey used to support him, create opportunities, create spaces.
Okay, so if you are naming the Black Stars for the opening game, assuming that Hudson-Odoi is ready, where would you play him?
If Hudson-Odoi is going to be part, I'll play 3 back with my goalkeeper probably.
Okay, so your goalkeeper and 3 central defenders.
3 central.
So you're going to have
Jiku, Amate, Salisu.
3.
Yes.
And then you have we have Tariq Lamptey.
Yes, Amate on the right, Jiku within the middle, Salisu on the left.
Tariq Lamptey on the far right.
Yes.
And who's going to be on the left?
I will use
Baba Rahman.
I will use Jeffrey Schlupp.
For the far left.
And
you drop Baba Rahman.
Yes.
And then we come into the middle. Partey will be there.
If I'm going to use Partey, he will operate with Baba Idrisu. But because of ball retentional capabilities, that's where we might have problem. If our opponents are going to put too much of pressure on Baba Idrisu.
But we know who our opponents are. Cristiano Ronaldo, what's his name? Fernandes.
Bruno Fernandes. And then this Manchester City guy, Bernardo Silva.
Oh, Bernardo Silva is Portuguese?
Yes, he's Portuguese.
Hey.
Yeah.
That's not good though.
They have a lot of quality.
So the middle, they are very good.
Yes.
So we might need a strategy that contains the middle.
There is one Ghanaian who just picked up within the French Ligue 1. Salis Abdul Samid. That's his name.
Has he been called before?
He's been called. He was supposed to be part of this recent AFCON tournament.
And he didn't come?
Like he was part, but we went to the tournament and he never had the opportunity of playing.
But he was in the team?
He was in the team.
How old is he?
22.
And he is the kind of midfielder you think we might need?
He has that ball retentional capabilities. And that's because we need someone who's going to progress the ball.
But can't we decide to play to our strength and play on the wings? Like Alex Ferguson does. So we play on so we spread out the field.
When we were discussing, back to our squad, like I said, with Tariq and Jeffrey Schlupp, I will use Salis Abdul Samad and Partey. So they will form my 2 midfield. So we are now going to be left with the 3.
Yeah, so Hudson-Odoi.
So 3, I will use Hudson-Odoi and then Inaki.
Hudson-Odoi on the right.
Hudson-Odoi and Inaki will form my 2 top.
Really?
Yes, I have.
So who's play your traditional 7? No,
because I have wing backs. I don't need 7 and 11.
Oh, so you're going to rely on the wing backs to be doing 2 and 7.
So
3 and 11.
Yes.
Wow.
So I will rely on my wing backs. They will be making that movement. So there's no need for Hudson-Odoi to be on the.
But that means your team must be very fit.
Because in this case,
and they shouldn't get tired.
One thing is,
because if you are playing 2 and 7, 3 and 11 against Portugal, that's a big deal.
One thing is, we need quick transition.
Absolutely. To go over the head of Ronaldo and Bruno Fernandes and put the pressure on the Portuguese defense.
One will ask why maybe I have not added Dede in that squad.
Yes.
My problem is, if you add Dede to Kudus, one thing is, both players used to spend averagely 40 seconds on the ball before they release their pass.
Oh, I don't believe that. 40. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, up to 40.
40 seconds.
That's how much they spend on the ball?
Yes.
We have to watch the videos.
They like to hold the ball.
I don't believe you.
Okay, it depends on you.
Oh, wow. 40 seconds.
Yes.
So you don't have a quick transition.
So we need quick transition. If you have guys who are very fast, like Inaki, like Hudson-Odoi, 1, 2, 3, We are just in front of the goalpost of our opponents.
Who's going to put the ball in the net? Inaki?
Inaki can do it.
Jordan?
Jordan. We have to use your strengths. We have to use our strengths. We just play according to our strengths. Which are the materials that we are having at our disposal? Then we just make a look at our opponents. What materials are also they going to use to face us? So we use our strengths. We check their weaknesses.
So the point you're making is the way we line up against Portugal should be different from the way we line up against South Korea.
Every match has its own dynamics.
Do you think we have a reasonable chance of beating Portugal on 24th November?
We can't. We have.
No, I'm not talking about I'm not talking about telling us from your heart, from your mind.
Yeah, we have. The reason why I'm saying so is Portugal have a coach who is more defensive-minded, even though he has quality players who are very good offensively, but he's also defensive-minded.
Therefore?
So he always likes to soak the pressure.
So if we put pressure on them and we slip a goal in,
yes, you can do it.
We are good to go.
Then you defend.
Hey.
I watched Portugal against Hungary during the last year's European Championship. The Portuguese really struggled before they won that game. Even though Cristiano Ronaldo scored, getting to the end of the match, just some 4-5 minutes.
What shall we do with Ronaldo? Should we man mark him or should we zonal mark him?
For me, Ronaldo is not the big deal.
He's not?
He's not the big deal now.
Who's a big deal in the Portuguese?
Bernardo Silva. If they are going to use...
Bernardo Silva. He plays Portuguese.
Yes. If they are going to have Renato Sanchez, former midfielder of Bayern Munich, he's been in Benfica, he was with Lille, and now he's in the books of PSG. A very Rasta guy.
He's a striker?
No, he's a playmaker.
Okay.
Very skillful. And they also have one guy from Manchester, from Atletico Madrid, Joao Felix. Very young guy, very skillful. He's quick, pacey. He can do everything with the ball. The Portuguese have those.
So when we are focusing on Ronaldo, do you think we are misfocusing?
Ronaldo is not the big deal to me. And even check.
But his presence on the field creates a certain image.
Yeah,
and
that one
panic.
is true. Yeah, that one is true.
Yeah.
Because you might be able to. You might be tempted to feel that because Ronaldo is on the pitch.
Yeah, but he can create a penalty. He's good with free kicks.
Yeah,
so Ronaldo is there.
But I think we can. But the Portugal match, we don't need to.
So should we talk to you when the Black Star squad is out? 14th November.
Yeah, by 14th November, every team, not only Black Stars.
Yeah. So then,
then
we can go toe to toe on every team and analyze it.
Every team participating in the World Cup.
But what's your gut feeling? You think Ghana will go beyond the group stages?
I'm pretty sure.
But if we come second and Brazil top their group, we meet Brazil.
Will
that be a cul-de-sac? End of story. End of the road, like it happened in South Africa.
That one will be a very, very difficult. And the thing is, Brazil have never lost a game against any African side in the World Cup.
They may lose one now.
Yeah, so it depends on your strong mentality. If you can, you need to match up.